All right. Good day, everybody, and welcome to Headline Hits with LW. It is Wednesday, July the 13th, 2022. Quite a bit of stuff in the news today, and I got a storm coming in. So if you hear any loud booms, it's because I got lightning striking over the top here, and I got to hurry and get this done and get off of here. I didn't really have time to put these in the order that I wanted, but we're just going to hit them here real quick. So, first headline. Pope Francis, consume less meat to save the planet. Now, I reported on this probably a couple of months ago, but there was another one of these gatherings where he said the same thing. Pope Francis urged European youth this week to eat less meat as a means of curbing global warming and preserving the planet. I got to ask you this question. How does eating less meat help curb global warming? The reason why I'm bringing this up to you guys is because this is the globalist agenda, right? This is the Green New Deal. This is globalism. This is the New World Order. They are trying to indoctrinate our youth into, hey, if you eat less meat, you're going to help global warming and help the Green New Deal. Now, to also spotlight this, Bill Gates has just purchased within the last 2 weeks, I think it's somewhere around 2,100 acres in North Dakota, and now has his eyes set here in Idaho to buy up more farmland. Don't forget, Bill Gates is also one of the top inventors of synthetic meat. So they're buying up farmland. They're pumping MOGs into our food. It's my opinion that absolutely they're poisoning our food. So to become more self-sufficient is of urgent times right now. I think you really need to start looking at where you're buying your produce and where this stuff's coming from, because these people, in my opinion, they don't have our best interest at hand. All right. Next headline. WHO Chief Tedros demands return to masks alongside tried and tested social restrictions. There's a reason why I'm bringing this up. Now, he's been in the news. We reported on it months ago as well. Same topic, same article, basically, but it's popped back up in the news today. The WHO chief on Tuesday demanded a return to strict anti-sickness measures, including masks, mass vacation programs, and social restrictions, because the pandemic is nowhere near over. Why am I bringing this to your attention? Well, because fall is just around the corner. Midterms is just around the corner. Don't forget that Biden administration was trying to relinquish medical authority that the United States had over its own sovereign country to the WHO, so that the WHO could come in at any time and deem any of our stuff happening here in America a global threat, a medical threat. And so is there something to be said about that? Are they trying their plan for November? I believe they are. Are they going to succeed? Absolutely not. If they think that we're that stupid that a lot of people will fall for that a second and a third time, I don't think so. I know a lot of patriots are not going to fall for it. And what is really encouraging is there are a lot of Democrats, there are a lot of other patriots that are also not going to fall for it again. They're all waking up. So continue to spread the message, folks, because it is making a difference. Let me move this back to the very back. This is something I want to talk about. Okay. Here's something that I found very interesting, and I'm going to draw some lines for you on this one. AOC's lie about ectopic pregnancies and abortion could kill women. What is an ectopic pregnancy? Well, it's also been called a tubular pregnancy. It's where the egg is actually fertilized inside the fallopian tube. I'm not a woman's biologist by any means. I read a lot. I know some things. Representative AOC is lying about ectopic pregnancies and abortions which could get women killed. A few days ago, AOC was reveling in the fact that Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh was chased out of D.C. Steakhouse by menacing protesters. But during her revel, she spread a bold-faced lie. Poor guy, AOC tweeted, he left before his steak was done because he decided half the country should risk death if they have an ectopic pregnancy within the wrong state lines. Well, that is a lie. Forget the mean girl approach to the Supreme Court justice being harassed during a private meal. What AOC is spreading is health misinformation to her 13.2 million followers and beyond. In no state, and let me repeat this, in no state is a surgical procedure for an ectopic pregnancy outlawed. Now, I have done some research on this, and I believe, if I'm correct, that a tubular pregnancy can be death for the mother. Not in all cases, but in severe cases, and I don't know, maybe all cases. I'm not a doctor by any means. It's not good. It's really not a good pregnancy. So in that case, I don't want to be the judge or the jury on that one. That one's totally up to the woman. But what I want to bring to your attention is AOC is being caught lying. Last week, Joe Biden and Joe Biden's administration was caught lying about the 10-year-old girl who got pregnant and couldn't get an abortion. We debunked that yesterday out of the state of Ohio. They said there is no record of that case. Adam Schiff has lied over and over again and been caught. Nancy Pelosi has lied. All of these people are lying and spinning propaganda, and we're going to highlight it here. Here's the next article of today. This one fired me up too. Gavin Newsom signs bill allowing gun crime victims to sue gun makers. Governor Gavin Newsom signed legislation into law on Tuesday, allowing California residents who are victims of crime to sue gun makers. Political reports that the legislation Newsom signed was sponsored by Assembly member Phil Ting, who is a Democrat out of San Francisco. Listen to this. The new law means that gun makers, quote, could face lawsuits if their products are abnormally dangerous or sold in a way that lets them be illegally converted. But here is my favorite part. Or end up in the hands of people who are prohibited for owning firearms, which are felons, right? And the Constitution also does not state that a felon cannot own a firearm. But here's my point to this article. If these guys are pushing so hard to go after gun makers for some of these alleged crimes that somehow are tied to the responsibility of the gun manufacturer itself, then why the hell not are they going after these peaceful protesters that are going out there burning mom and pop shops to the ground? They're vandalizing federal property and county property. They destroy police cruisers. They've taken over police precincts. They have beaten people and even sometimes caused death from their riots. And that's exactly what they are, riots. It's not a peaceful protest. So why aren't those people responsible for their actions? And can these victims of those crimes, if you've lost your shop because they burned it to the ground, or if you were beaten or battered by these people, why can't that be a bill on the desk of Gavin Newsom's so that the victims of those crimes can also sue the protesters? Why can't they sue BLM? Why can't they sue Antifa? Why can't they sue George Soros for his part in all that? Hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. All right, here's the next one. I watched this video on Breitbart. John Dean says that criminal case likely after J6 hearing. What's he talking about? Well, he was on Communist News Network, and he said, again, now don't forget what I just said about AOC, Joe Biden, Adam Schiff. He makes comment in a 3-minute and 50-second interview on Communist News Network that everything that the J6 committee is hearing right now is the gospel, and that it's compelling, it's damning, and that there is going to be something that comes out of all of this. And he's excited for it. He thinks the country needs to know about it. And of course, CNN, there are crazies out there that watch that show and believe every word that Communist News Network says. What I'm trying to point out here is this guy, who was the White House counsel to Richard Nixon, is also a liar. Communist News Network is fake news. They also lie. They're liars, pants on fire. All right, here's the next headline. Man, you're lucky. I told Denise this morning. This woman right here is lucky I don't still live in North Dakota. And matter of fact, if she was still a senator and not a former senator, I would have made a bunch of phone calls this morning to make sure that this woman is recalled. So let's talk about Heidi Heitkamp, or whatever her last name is. I don't even care if I got that right. This woman is no different than Liz Cheney herself. J6 hearings show a Trump indictment very tough to get. So I watched this 2-minute and 50-second clip. You can catch it on Breitbart News if you choose to. Former North Dakota Senator Heidi Heitkamp said Tuesday during an ABC's coverage of the J6 House Select Committee hearing that although it was political devastating to Donald Trump, which, pause, timeout. No, it wasn't devastating to him. One, it was not an insurrection. It was a field trip. Why are we not talking about the insurrections that are really going on around this country from 2020 on? You guys don't highlight those. You don't talk about them. You don't dispute them. You don't do anything about it. They're peaceful protests. So she goes on to say that this is affecting his chances in 2024, that this is affecting his base, and people like Kevin McCarthy need to separate themselves from Donald Trump. Another liar, folks. This woman is a mouthpiece for the propaganda machine. She's putting out nothing but lies. The only thing that she's telling the truth about in this article is the fact that it's going to be very tough to indict President Donald Trump for something that he did not do. Sorry, I'm kind of wound up today. So let's hit some good news today, right? Superhero window washers bring smiles to a Kentucky Children's Hospital. Patients looking outside their windows at Norton Children's Hospital in Louisville, Kentucky, were giving something very special to smile about on Monday. A crew of ProClean International, a local window washing company, dressed as popular superheroes for their job at the Children's Hospital to give some struggling patients a surprise. The window cleaners were dressed as iconic characters from comic books and movies such as Iron Man, Batman, Deadpool, Superman, plus other heroes. Joe Hayes, the CEO of ProClean International, told WRDB, which is the news station out of Louisville, that his company has been doing this for about 5 years. They first started dressing up as Santa Claus and elves, and eventually the crew began dressing as superheroes. What a great story. Congratulations to that cleaning company for stepping up and trying to bring a little bit of joy to those children. Let me move this to the back because this is something else I want to talk about last. All right, here's some hope for the UK. Shocking development as actual conservative Kemi Badenoch emerges as potential UK Prime Minister. Now, remember, we just reported a little over a week ago that the Prime Minister, Boris Yeltsin, or no, what is his name? Boris Johnson has stepped down, and many members of his parliament have also stepped down. Well, this former Oh man. All right. I'm gonna just skip that word. She is running for prime minister. Kemi Badenoch appears to be emerging as a preferred choice of the small c conservative base of Conservative Party in the contest to replace liberal-minded Boris Johnson as the next prime minister of the UK. So all I can tell you folks is stay in prayer for these guys because the UK needs somebody like this, and she's only 42 years old. She's got a lot of accomplishments under her belt, including battling Black Lives Matter and critical race theory in the country. She has gone to bat against these guys, and she has very conservative views. She believes in the philosophy of lower taxes and a smaller government, like a real conservative. So keep these guys in prayer. I think it's important that they get a good prime minister. All right, I'm going to touch on this just real briefly. I know we talk about it a lot, but it popped back up in the news. Biden inflation much worse than expected. Consumer price rises 9.1%. Inflation in the United States already at a 40-year high rose to an annual rate of 9.1% in June, the Department of Labor said on Wednesday. This is the highest rate since 1981. I think that's really all I need to say. I think we all feel it at the grocery store when we go to check out, the gas pump. It's bad, and this guy has no answers. All right, here's some good news. I'm really hopeful for this. Now, I think Peter Schweizer, his book, Red Handed, had a big effect on the Biden family and a lot of things starting to come out in the news. A lot of things tying them to corrupt dealings, business dealings, a lot of things connecting Biden to the family business, even though on 9 or 10 separate occasions he's lied about it. Again, liar, liar, pants on fire. The GOP calls for Hunter Biden as a national security threat over scandalous leaks, urges investigation. GOP officials expressed alarm over a recent leak that saw explicit media involving first son Hunter Biden circulating online, deeming the president's disgraced son a threat to national security while calling for a full-scale investigation over the matter. Following the alleged hack of the 4chan users into Hunter Biden's personal iCloud account over the past week, it subsequently spread its content across social media. Republicans took to Twitter to blast the president's son over the explicit and damaging material. Now, there's a lot of tweets out there, but there's two that I want to read specifically. Here's one that says, someone in the White House press corps better ask who in the world Pedo Pete is on Hunter Biden's phone. The second tweet that I want to read real quick is, if Trump had a child like Hunter Biden, I would have not voted for Trump. This is not about poor parenting. This is about national security. And those tweets are spot on. If this was Trump, it'd be a totally different story. So guess what, lamestream media? Guess what, supposed journalist? It's time for you guys to step up and do your job. And if not, guess what? LWN is right here to do it for you. Biden brags about importing record foreign workers to compete against Americans for jobs. What's that all about? Well, I've said it for months and months and months. And this guy here and his administration is all about America last. The Trump administration was about America first. President Joe Biden is bragging about record number of foreign visa workers his administration has brought to the United States to compete for working and middle-class jobs against unemployed Americans. During the press conference with Mexican President, Biden bragged that his Department of Homeland Security, listen to this, has created a steady flow of to the U.S. of foreign workers on agricultural H-2A and non-agricultural H-2B visas. Let's read a little bit further into the article. You guys want to catch it? You can catch it at Breitbart. He says, quote, last year, my administration set a record. We issued more than 300,000 H-2 visas for Mexican workers. We also reached listen to this, 5-year high in the visas we issued to Central Americans. We are also on pace to double this fiscal year for Central America, double it. Biden's inflating, listen to this, Biden is inflating the U.S. labor market with millions of foreign workers, comes as millions of working age Americans remain on the labor market sidelines. There are approximately 11.5 million job openings in the United States right now and 14.73 million unemployed Americans. Okay, wait a minute. If you do the math, that's close to 3 million jobs, or 3 million people that won't have a job. If we filled all of those jobs in America right now, there would still be 3 million Americans out of work. This was a study done by the Federation for American Immigration Reform. This means that there are 3.23 million more workers in the country than open jobs. I want to drop down and read this real quick. All right. Annually, the U.S. gives out green cards to about 1.2 million foreign nationals and another 1.5 million temporary work visas. This is in addition to the millions, plural, millions with an M, plural with an S on the back of it. This is in addition to the millions of illegal aliens who are added to the U.S. population every year. Now, don't forget, there's roughly about 500,000 illegal aliens crossing our border every 28 to 30 days. How do you think this is going to affect the jobs of America? It is all about America last with this administration. We're spotlighting it here at LWN. All right, that's all for today, folks. God bless. And I'll be back at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Podbean if you want to follow me over there. Love y'all.